310864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Game day for Oregon men's basketball and some sports to cover that were in action yesterday. We'll talk a little women's basketball, lacrosse, also baseball on the road. Pac-12 play looming for both baseball and softball this weekend. Women's golf in action, and we've got a number of things to preview, including indoor track and field national championships, which are coming your way starting tomorrow. Head coach Jerry Schumacher meeting with the media this week. We have that for you today. We'll also hear from Coach Graves, Grace Van Sluten, and Chance Gray following last night's contest in the Pac-12 tournament. And then we begin today with Oregon men's basketball. Big game. There's no doubt about it. So I know, if you're looking at all the bubble projections, the Ducks right now are on the outside looking in of the NCAA tournament. But the teams that are in town for senior weekend are two of the teams that are right there in the conversation as last four in, next four out, next four out. I think the Ducks are like in the next four out, probably. I don't know. It depends on which prognosticator you're looking at. The point is that the resume comparison for these two teams that are meeting tonight at 6 o'clock, Oregon and Colorado, is as followed. So Arizona and Washington State sitting at first and second in the Pac-12 standings. I think they're in, right? But Colorado and Oregon are tied for third place in the conference at 11-7. Now, right now, Colorado owns the tiebreaker because of the win in Boulder back in January. Of course, the Ducks dropped that game. I remember now it was an 8:30 tip-off. I just looked at the box score, and I was like, God, those 8:30 tip-offs, if the Ducks are the 3 seed in Vegas, might have a few more of those 8:30 tip-offs. Anyway, at the CU Event Center in Boulder, it was an 86-70 final. Ducks were down 43-34 at halftime, got outscored 43-36 in the second half. And the Ducks really, the point scoring, it was kind of all over the place. Jermaine Couisnard had 11, and then Bam Tracy had 14 off the bench in that game for the Ducks. But meanwhile, Cody Williams and KJ Simpson each scored 20, over 20. Williams scored 23, Simpson scored 22, and 5 different buffs were in double figures. So that was the last time these two teams met. Oregon is currently sitting at number 64 in the net. Colorado is at 31 heading into the Pac-12 games this week. And why does that matter? Well, Colorado, based on the net, should be in the NCAA tournament. 31 in the net, and they're on the, next four out. The first four out, next four, whatever. If you're 31 in the net, I feel like you should be getting into the NCAA tournament, right? Especially when Washington State is sitting at 39 in the net. Now, I understand they're above Colorado in the standings. I get all that. They're a top 25 team. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that because how does the Pac-12 only get 2 teams in? That's my opinion. I see it through Pac-12 lenses. I see it through green and yellow lenses, but I have a hard time saying that a team that's number 31 in the net isn't going to get in if the tournament started today. Then similarly, Utah, who will be the senior day opponent coming up for the Ducks at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Utah's 9-9 in conference. They're sitting tied for 5th place. They've got the head-to-head record over UCLA, a 2-0 mark against the Bruins. So even though the two teams are tied at 9-9, That's your 5th place team in Utah, which means Oregon officially in 4th place, tied for 3rd. Tiebreaker goes to Colorado. You've got number 3, number 4, and number 5 in the Pac-12 standings, all at Matthew Knight Arena this week. 6 o'clock tonight, the game will be on ESPN2. This is an opportunity for the Ducks to try to get something done in terms of postseason resume, in terms of conference standings, and maybe in terms of seeding in the Pac-12. Perhaps that's the most important thing. If the Ducks finish as the 3 seed, they get a first-round bye, would play likely the 6 seed, maybe the 11 seed, but likely the 6 seed in the final game of the quarterfinals of the Pac-12 tournament a week from today. That's right. The Pac-12 tournament quarterfinals are a week from today. Arizona, Washington State, Colorado, Oregon, Utah, I think all in the hunt right now. If you're the Ducks, and I know, as Coach Altman said on Tip-Off Tuesday with us yesterday, if you're the Ducks, the mentality here is you go in, you beat Colorado, maybe suddenly you take Colorado's spot on the bubble. You're hedged above the Buffs. Then you beat Utah. You finish 3rd in the Pac-12. Maybe you're above Utah in those standings here at the end of the year in terms of NCAA resume. And then you go to Vegas and swing away, as Coach Altman would say. But it's also senior weekend. It's going to be emotional. There's a lot of things to unpack. We'll let Coach Altman unpack it for you. He met with the media this week. It's a big game. Ducks, Buffs, 6 o'clock tonight, a chance to avenge the earlier season loss in Boulder. Coach Altman breaking down a number of subjects as the Ducks get ready to host the Buffs here tonight.
Oh, they were disappointed. We had a good workout yesterday. Jermaine didn't practice today. He was sick, so that kind of held us back a little bit. But no, guys are excited about the weekend. Got some seniors that really excited, so I think we'll be ready to play.
Is there fear that Jermaine might not be available for this week?
I don't know. I mean, knowing him, he'll play, so, but he was just out today.
Looking back on his performance on Saturday, just what are your thoughts, a couple days behind you?
Well, he gave us a chance. We got it down to 15 there. I know that sounds like, but at least we got ourselves back there, and he hit some shots, and that really got him going. And he finished some really tough shots, made some plays, and then the guys did a good job just getting him the ball, getting out of the way. He had a run going there. They recognized it, so they were getting him as many shots as they could.
You mentioned seniors and recognizing. Is it all 4 or all 5, or could Aquindo and Bartholomew, they've got the extra year available to them?
Yeah, everybody's going through. We got 6 going through with Mo and Dante and Jermaine and Key and Cario and Gabe. And so we got a lot of guys that are in that category.
With everything that's on the line this weekend, just maybe talk about the importance of having these games at home.
Well, you get 10 on the road, 10 at home, and so you got to take advantage of the home games. We've dropped 2, and that's the reason we're not in the race. Again, playing at home is really important. You look at, I think I saw a stat, I was watching one of the games, and they had like 72% of the home. The record for this year is 72% in conference games. And 27 has been the road team. So, and I look at both teams coming in have played really well at home and not nearly as well on the road. And we're the same thing. I think we'd have to be 6-2 at home. So, it makes a difference whether you're at home or not.
What has to happen this time around against Colorado that maybe didn't transpire the first time?
Well, our transition D's got to be better. We turned it over and it turned into easy baskets. We got in foul trouble. Dante, had 3 in the first half. So we're going to have to do a better job of sliding our feet and try not to get in foul trouble.
Are they a different team than when you last played them? I know they're on a little bit of a run right now, but do they look different on tape? Do they look better on tape?
Well, they've, KJ Simpson's really playing good, so that makes a difference. DeSilva's always been good. They've remained fairly healthy. Corey's missed some games, but other than that, O'Brien's played, consistent minutes. They've kept the rotation. Nothing like Arizona, though. I was, shocked when I was looking at stats. they've had 29 games, and their top 8 have played in all 29. They've started the same unit all the games, and which is rare these days. To see somebody just keep that rotation intact the whole time.
There's a report by CBS and also ESPN that you're considering retirement. Would you like to address that at all?
No idea who said that. I'm not sure who said it. I know I didn't. I have talked to nobody. So whoever's saying that is pure speculation. I'm not going anywhere. So unless the school tells me I'm not here, but no, I'm not retiring. That's for sure.
I can tell you from experience and personal stories, no, he is not retiring. I can tell you that for sure. Coach Altman, brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Big game tonight. Look, if Oregon gets it, I really believe this. If Oregon gets it done, and this is where the bubble is so fickle, right? Because suddenly you're on the outside looking in of those lists of first 4 out, last 4 in, whatever. Well, but then if you beat a couple of those teams, and if those teams that are on that list lose, well, someone takes the spot if you keep winning. Now, the Ducks have had a few this year that they'd like back. I think about at Utah. I think about at Cal. There's some others, honestly, but those are recently on my mind because Cal was recent, and then Utah is an upcoming opponent for the Ducks. Ducks get it done, get back into that conversation, go to Vegas, but you got to take care of business here. Got to take care of business here. Meanwhile, Jackson Shellstad talking a bit about the season that he's had and some of the keys here for senior weekend for the Ducks. Jackson Shellstad with the media.
Games left of the season. Just how important are these two, and how do you kind of bounce back from what happened Saturday?
Yeah, obviously they're very important, as everybody knows, and I think right now it's just important we stay together and keep playing together and listen to what our coaches are saying. But bouncing back will be big for us after that kind of loss, and luckily we finished with 2 at home against 2 good teams, 2 good opportunities. So just gonna come out and play together.
Do you guys pay attention to the tournament talk, or where you guys kind of fit, or what you have to do, or is that just out of sight, out of mind?
I mean, we know what has to be done to get there right now, but I don't think that's something like we want to overly focus on. We just want to go out there and win, do anything we can to win, to put us in the best position.
This is the first time you've had to deal with tournament talk and be in this position and everything like that. What is this moment like, going into a final weekend knowing that there's so much on the line?
I mean, nothing really changes for me. I mean, just approach the game the same way, just try to get a win. Obviously, the stakes are a little higher right now, but just doing whatever we can to get a win.
When Jermaine's going like he was on Saturday in that second half, just Dana said, you guys just got him the ball, just get him the ball. What was your perspective of just watching that play out, 33 in one half?
I mean, it was pretty crazy. I mean, like Coach Altman said, we literally just got him the ball. We didn't really run any plays. We just let him go. I don't know how many shots he missed in the second half, but it didn't seem like many at all. And I mean, he kept us in the game for, if it wasn't for him, who knows what it would have been. But he was hot, and, so we just gave him the ball and let him go.
What do you remember from that first Colorado game, and some of the things that you think you need to do differently against them this time around?
I just remember they killed us in transition, so we're going to have to be very good transition defensively-wise. And then offensively, I feel like when we move the ball, we scored pretty high rate against them. They're a good defensive team, I think. So, if we just move the ball and run our offense, we'll get good looks.
Senior weekend, how has Dante and Jermaine just helped you through this whole year of becoming the role, starter that you are and the role that you have on this team?
They helped me a lot and gave me a lot of confidence. They always just tell me to be who I am and, don't be scared. They tell me I'm a good player and just play my game. And there are 2 leaders, and we just followed them and what they say, so they're really important to us, and we're going to give them everything these last 2 games, try to put us in a good spot.
That's well said from a freshman talking about the seniors. Jackson Shellstad meeting with the media this week. 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN2, Ducks, Buffs. Chance to stay in the conversation. Win tonight. Tomorrow's show is going to be fun. lose tonight, I don't think I'm going to have very much fun on the postgame show or on Duck Insider tomorrow. When we come back, we're going to hear from Dante. And Folly Dante, I know we had it for those of you that are tuning in for Tip-Off Tuesday. He was great. And, we try to give you as much content as possible. I'll tell you, though, Dante, this deserves to get played on Duck Insider. Make sure that everybody who tunes in, maybe just for Duck Insider, if you missed Tip Tuesday. Dante, senior week, he was great. We're going to hear from him next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Game day for Oregon men's basketball. Ducks and Buffs tonight, 6 o'clock tip on ESPN2. Hope to see you all at Matthew Knight Arena. Oregon baseball with a win last night. Also track and field indoors coming up. We'll talk about all that. Go through women's basketball as well. But on Tip-Off Tuesday, man, it was just awesome catching up with N'Faly Dante. He was outstanding. Just talking about his journey to Oregon. And if you missed it from Tip Tuesday, I wanted to make sure that we spent some time hearing from the senior that, man, I'm personally going to miss N'Faly Dante. Where he was as a freshman, all the adversity he's gone through, the adversity he faced getting to Oregon. Quite the journey, and we talked a bit about it with N'Faly Dante. Look, Dante, I know that this is a big week. It's the last Tip-Off Tuesday for us. That's why I wanted to have you come on. Talk a little bit about your career. Talk a little bit about what's next for you. But first, the fit today, Dante, is next level.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Everybody who's watching the show, look at the Letterman's jacket. I mean, You thought about this today, didn't you? You knew you were going to be on camera.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah. And then I want to just thank my guy, Jackson, get us those. So it was great.
That's awesome. So let's go back in time to young Dante. When did you first fall in love with basketball? Like, when were you like, you know what? I could do this. I could play this during my life.
Oh, I think I was about 12 or 13.
Okay.
Back home in Mali. So, like I said, my sister used to play. So she used to have a basketball at home. So I just took in and dribble and stuff. And one day I was like, you know what? I think I'm a really good player. And I decided to start playing a little bit. And the first day I did not like it because I got hurt.
Really?
Hurt, you know.
Yeah,
so
right.
my mom sent me back and then kept doing it, you know. But it was great.
How tall were you when you started playing when you were like 12?
Probably like 6'3".
Oh my goodness! You like so how much did that? Truthfully, like how much did that factor in? Like you were like, you know what? I've got the body for this.
Oh yeah. I was really tall and then skinny and then like the dude who was coaching me there back home thought I could be a point guard.
Really?
Don't let Coach Alvin hear that.
Are you? hey, I've seen it though. You've got handles. Hey, we showed this last year. I know one of your favorite moments is the dunk against Arizona a year ago. You showed handles there.
Yeah, so that's when I was like, yeah, I think I can do this. Yeah.
So at what point then did you be like, no, but I'm going to be a big man. Like I'm going to play around the basket. Like how did you develop in your career when you were younger?
One of my best friends, the dude that helped me get selected in camp, he used to play the post. So like every time after practice, just like, oh yeah, let's play 1-on-1. So he don't want to do like wings, nothing. It's just post, sure post. I was like, I'm sick of it, but and at that moment I was kind of lazy. So I was like, that's really easy. All you gotta do is just stay under the basket and just score. So it was easy to learn from him.
Right, and he was good. You were, that is, to score around the basket. Yeah. Tell fans the story, Dante, of going through the camp process and then being evaluated, deciding to come to college. Just take us through it for fans that aren't aware of that story.
Well, my friend Kanedja, he was the one who invited the camp, so I was not. So he, like, the day of a camp, he literally wake up like 5 a.m. to walk like an hour to go to my house and knock the door. And then my mom was like, what's going on? And then he was like, I just want to see Dante. My mom was like, asleep. And then she woke me up, and then I was like, what do you want, bro? Because I was kind of like hard-headed to him. So he was like, can you come to the camp? I was like, no, bro, I'm not going. And he was like, well, what if I give you money and you take like taxis and come meet me there? I was like, bro, I'm not. Give me the money. I was like, all right, crap. I just have to go now. And then I went in the morning time. Like morning time, I didn't get selected. I was like, bro, I'm done with this. And I went back home, come back like at 4 p.m. The dude on the camp is named Tijan. He's the one who helped me come to U.S. So he was like, do you play basketball? I was like, yeah. Because I was, at that age, I was really hard-headed.
How old were you at that point?
I was about like 12.
12, so
yes.
The same age. Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, can you dunk? I was like, yeah, I can dunk. And I dunked. I was like, I'm the best player in this camp. He was like, you crazy. And then he told me to come the next day with my dad. I was like, no, my dad passed away. And then he told me to come with one of my family members. And I go with my brother. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to help him in 2 years because I can bring at this age. But, yeah, that's how I got picked to come to U.S. But my friend that was helping me go to camp didn't get picked. Mm-hmm. So it's my best friend, man.
Yeah. But it's amazing though to think back. I imagine you've thought about this. You think back on the people that helped you, and sometimes the chance happenings that leads to where you are now. So after you come to the U.S., it takes a few years before you come to Oregon. What were you doing during that time?
Ooh, I was playing in high school.
Yeah.
In Alabama, I played there for 7 months, and then I transferred to go to San Recreation Academy in Kansas. Mm-hmm. Ooh. That was a long journey for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Just summarize if you could. What was it about that kind of made you who you are today?
Well, I was in a prep school, so like it's all about basketball school. So like we have basketball from September to April.
A lot of basketball.
Yeah. So right after that, not even 1 week off, you gotta go to AU.
Right.
That practice was, oh God, I don't miss that. I do not, but yeah, all year long, all I was doing is playing basketball. No vacation, nothing. Yeah. I mean, I don't need vacation, but no free time at all.
And then you get recruited.
Oh yeah, by Oregon.
Yeah.
In a lot of different school.
Right.
Yeah.
But so why choose Oregon? I mean, I know you've told this story a couple times, but remind us, why'd you choose Oregon? What was it about this place?
Well, I think it was my junior year or something. I don't remember exactly, but it was one of the AU game. I got hurt. And a lot of coaches sitting there, they was like, what's wrong with him? Everybody think I have an injury issue or something. So, and that moment, everybody back off of me, like recruiting me. And then Coach Mike is the only one, like, literally flew to see me every time. Hey, big fellow, I love you, man. You're my guy. All those kind of things. But I trust him, so it make my decision easier to come to Oregon because he cared for me even though I'm not playing right now. So
now we talk about injuries. I mean, you have gone through a few. What advice do you give now to people that go through an injury? Because you've gone through adversity. There's no doubt. What advice do you give to somebody that's going through an injury like you have done?
Just don't give up. If you give up, you're not gonna get your chance. So just put my head down and just whatever it is, I'm gonna do it and to get back on my feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, your time at Oregon, I told you I was going to ask you this. Do you have some favorite games, some favorite moments so far in your career?
Oh, I got a couple.
Yeah.
First one is definitely Arizona at home.
Yep.
And the second one probably Utah. No, Oregon State. Thanks God. Oh, I forgot. I hate Beavers. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it. I just hate them.
You embrace the rivalry, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. You embrace the rivalry. So, going back a little bit too, and talking a bit about your mom, I wanted to give you a chance to do that on this show, Dante. You're doing something pretty special for her. Tell fans about that.
Yeah. The NIL that I'm making is just building a house for her. You know, because I remember when I was young, she always wanted like me to do the things that I like playing ball or like I don't even know how to explain it. Like
she loved you.
Yeah. So I think the reason I decided to do that because I think she deserved it because when we was younger, she's the only one. Our dad passed away when I was really young, so like she was with like our dad and mom at the same time. So I think she deserves something better, you know. So I decided to do that. That's something I can really do right now.
And when's it all going to come to fruition? Like, when are you going to be able to give it to her?
Oh, it's going right now. So I think it's going to take at least a couple more. No, probably like a year because it's 3 different levels.
Right.
So it's going to be a really big house.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Hey,
yeah.
I mean, everybody, like, think about that. Building a house for your mom, like Dante. Good job, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's awesome. So I wanted to ask you, too, you talk about family, how important that is to you. Is that why you're such a team player? Like, I see you out there, Dante. You're such a team leader. You're such a team guy. Is that where it comes from, is your mom?
Yeah, always. You know, I mean, I remember when I was hurt, you know, like before the beginning of the season, I was hurt, and I have a teammate always texting me, hey, Dante, how you doing, you know? Those are the things that make me do anything for them, you know. So I'm just glad to have a family, you know.
Yeah. Finally, and we could talk to you for hours.
Yeah.
I know that. What's next for you? You're going to go play for 20 years, be super successful? I don't know. What's next for you after you're done here at Oregon?
Shoot, I'm not thinking about that right now. I just want to go I just want to play the March Madness, which is something I want to do for a long time. You know, the first time, my freshman year didn't happen. Sophomore year, I was hurt. Right. So last couple of years we could. So we still have a couple more games to go. So I'm just focusing on that. And then after that, we're going to see what happens.
Here's to a long, long run. Dante, thanks for being a Duck.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Thanks for being a Duck. And follow Dante, folks. How about that answer, though? Like, he was like, no, I don't even want to go there. You know, but truth, like I was curious, like, you know, he wants to go play a long time and get a chance to go back home and see his mom. And how about that give? I mean, can we all in the studio just for a moment, like, building his mom a house? And he's been back home once, twice since he came to the United States to play basketball. Like, Dante, man, how can you not root for this guy? Tremendous individual. Here's to a long run. I meant that. And here's to a great celebration senior weekend. I hope Folly Dante goes for 40 and 20 tonight, Saturday. That'd be awesome. When we come back, track and field indoor championships are on the horizon. We'll talk a little women's basketball, lacrosse, baseball, softball, women's golf, all coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Imagine all the fun you can have this spring break in a new Toyota. Woo-hoo! I'm having fun and I'm not even there.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends April 1st.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Imagine all the fun you can have this spring break in a new Toyota. Woo-hoo! I'm having fun and I'm not even there.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends April 1st.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D, that means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. So Oregon track and field, they're hitting the road. They're actually all the way out in Boston coming up. The Ducks are sending 11 to the NCAA indoors. They will take place in Boston tomorrow and on Saturday. The Ducks hoping for some great finishes. Jaden Mays leads the Ducks as a 3-time qualifier. We're going to hear from Jaden on the show tomorrow. 8 individuals, 2 relays. And the Ducks are hoping for, well, a great showing. I think that the way that it projects out, women of Oregon, with their amount of entries, have a good chance to podium. A top 10 finish, top 5 finish. I mean, isn't it amazing, though, that, like, saying a top 10 finish and at Oregon, it's like, yeah. But for track and field at Oregon, it's like, just win the whole thing every year. I mean, that is the standard of the program. And Coach Schumacher, Jerry Schumacher, met with the media this week talking about a number of different subjects heading in to the track and field indoor national championships that begin Friday, conclude on Saturday. Indoor track and field championship preview with the head coach, Jerry Schumacher.
All right, Coach. Just a few days before NCAA, just kind of speak to the general excitement of this week and like what this means for the program and for the team.
Yeah, obviously NCAAs is very exciting, especially indoors right now, because it's our only team scored championship. Next year that'll change entering the Big Ten because we'll have an indoor Big Ten championship, which should be fun. But this year, since the Pac-12 doesn't have an indoor championship, the NCAA is their only team scored championship. And if you asked any member of our team, men or women, I think the scored team events are their favorite because we get to compete as an entire team, and obviously we really enjoy that. And that's what sport's all about. So I'm looking forward to the NCAAs.
On the women's side, it looks like, your team has a chance to do some great things. When the season started, was this, competing for this team title? Was that in the cards for you guys?
The women's team, it was very good last year, and obviously we took some heavy losses, losing Yorinda and Izzy, who scored a lot of points for us at the outdoor NCAAs. I think, to be exact, it was 26 of our points, so that was a lot. But the way this team has competed all year, so far indoors this year, they've been really good, and we've covered all the different event areas, from middle distance and distance running to the throws, to the jumps, to the multis, to the sprints, hurdles, relays. We're just covered in a lot of different areas, and I think we have 10 entrants on the women's side, which is just about as much as that might be as many entrants as any other team outside of Arkansas this year. And again, by covering so many different areas, I think it's going to make us very formidable. So I'm excited to see what the women can do.
Having athletes like Jaden and Jada, both veterans who have been there before, done it before, what's it like having those two on a team that's, just having that veteran presence at a championship?
You just can't replace that. That's having them. They're older. They're just more developed and stronger, and been in the sport, been in the game a lot longer. Having been to the national meet and competed at that level, it's just you just can't replace experience. It's sometimes it's nice to have that youthfulness of not knowing what's going on, but a lot of times that doesn't pan out as well as when you have the experience going in. And Jada and Jaden, they've been outstanding all year long. I mean, I think Jaden's ranked third in the 60 right now, and I think 7th in the 200, and Jada's second in the shot put. Senior leadership, you just can't be beat.
Do you feel like you guys are peaking, or you're like kind of in an upward trajectory right now with how the season's been going?
Yeah, I don't think we ever, sell the farm indoors in terms of, peaking fitness, but we're going into this more rested than we have the other meets, the other competitions, as I would imagine other teams will as well. And we're just really wanting we want to have a good showing for the Ducks at this meet. This is an indoor national championship, so it's important to us. But I wouldn't say that we would have sold the farm for it.
I guess on the men's side, I guess in future years you hope to bring more than one entrant, but just, I guess, what was kind of just when you look at the men's team and what you had this season, what was your goals as far as kind of like getting events in and people getting experience, I guess?
Sure. So our team, it didn't radically change between last year and this year. So I don't think we weren't unrealistic in our expectations or our goals. Obviously, we're working really hard. The team is developing. They're young. That's the big difference between probably the men and the women, is that the men's team is very young. It's we have a young thrower who's just going to be outstanding, some young middle distance and distance runners who are outstanding. But track and field at this level, it's the older you are, the more mature you are, really the bigger impact you can have in the sport. And that's where we're lacking on the men's side. We don't have a lot of older junior and senior impact players, and that's what we're really looking for. And we'll give the young guys a chance to keep developing, and as they do, I would hope that the future looks a little bit different for them.
Speaking of the futures, is Devin Hart, is he a guy that's going to be eligible outdoors this spring?
He'll be eligible outdoors this spring, yeah.
And will be his final season?
No, he has another year after this. Okay. Yeah, he has one more year. I think he has cross country, indoor and outdoor.
I also saw on the schedule just popped up an LCC meet on Saturday. Do you have people heading to that?
We did, but I'm not so sure that's going to necessarily be the case yet. We'll see if that still holds. I think we were going to have a couple throwers go, and but if the weather is rough, I'm not so sure that they'll throw, depending on what it looks like. We'll see.
When you look at the weekend schedule, Friday, big chance for some points early on with the pentathlon and the DMR. How important are those two events to kind of get the ball rolling into, because both of at least the pentathlon will be done before the prelims get started on Saturday.
Yeah, momentum is super important. I mean, so obviously there's prelims the day before and the mile and the 60, and just having the ability, and again, the DMR final, the Pent final, if we can get a little momentum in those two events and put some points on the board early, knowing that we're in the hunt to do something kind of special, that'll motivate the rest of the team. So it's really important that we have a good first day, and I think our team knows that. We've gone over that before, and we'll certainly go over it again before we get there. And but it is a big step for us. That DMR and the Pent will be huge, just because they're the finals for that first day.
Jay, who's writing the training for the distance women? Is it you, or does Shalane do it?
Shalane does it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Shalane does it.
That's pretty.
Yeah. She's done a great job. Shalane's done an amazing job with that group of athletes. So yeah, I think she's having a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah, I saw her running with them.
Yeah. Yeah. She can still do it too. She can still actually do the running part too. Yeah.
When you look at that group, Jerry, and Shalane did an interview yesterday, and she just spoke to like having that depth of, one day I'm leading, one day it's Maddie, one day it's Mia, one day it's Claudia. So when you talk about that group, when you're looking out and they're practicing, and they're just going at it, and the workouts are looking so good, how does that help to this kind of weekend where they may running double, or you have some legs on the DMR that didn't make a prelim but are still top notch?
Right. So we don't know like what our lineup will necessarily be. A lot of it will depend on how that mile goes on the first day. But what I can tell you is, when you have that kind of depth, when you have 5 women who can run 4:35 or better, and I'm not even sure you would have the stat better than I think, are all 5 women in the top 10 list? I mean, they've all made the top 10. So that's unusual when you have 5 women on the team at the same time that are all time top 10 from U of O. That's pretty special. So I know that, when you see them doing workouts and the flexibility they have with getting different work, they're just the workouts, and you don't have to lead everything. It's not one person who's dominating any specific workout. They have a whole group of them. It's really, that's probably a special case. And I know Shalane said, like I said, she's had a lot of fun with it, but they have just a group of milers like that can run 4:35 and I think we have some, I wouldn't be surprised. They're young. There's some young ones too, but I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few that can run in the 4:20s right now. So, which would be really outstanding. This would be a perfect time to do it too.
Yeah, you always talk about peaking at the right time in track and field, right? It's about that build up, and then you hit the championships, and that's where you want to be at your best. I mean, so often, right? You see the best times that are in those championship events. Every now and then, though, you get the best times and the best distances that aren't in those championship events. I like that ending from Coach Schumacher. Jerry Schumacher previewing NCAA indoors. Televised on ESPN Plus pretty much all day, Friday and Saturday from Boston, the NCAA Indoor Championships. The Ducks have 11 entries. We'll keep you up to date tomorrow, and we'll also hear from Jade Mays a bit tomorrow talking about the weekend ahead for the Ducks. When we come back, talk about women's basketball a bit. Tough one. And Kelly Graves wrapped it up for us after the loss to Colorado. We'll have that for you next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Imagine all the fun you can have this spring break in a new Toyota. Woo-hoo! I'm having fun and I'm not even there.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends April 1st.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Imagine all the fun you can have this spring break in a new Toyota. Woo-hoo! I'm having fun and I'm not even there.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Event ends April 1st.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you here in the Country Financial Studio. We heard a little bit from Jerry Schumacher, talked a lot of men's basketball. Now, for women's basketball, look, it was a tough one yesterday. There's no other way to put it. 79-30, Colorado getting the win. And now we'll see what the postseason could bring, but look, we know that it's been a tough year. It's been a tough road. Injuries to start. I think the Ducks would like to add some more depth to their roster in the offseason. But now important to keep that roster together heading into next year. Coach Graves gave the example on Tip-Off Tuesday that the South Carolina men last year finished in dead last in the SEC, and now they're competing for a conference title, and a lot of their players came back. You know, it can happen, but there's no doubt a tough year for Oregon women's basketball. Coach Graves, along with Grace Van Sluten and Chance Gray, they wrapped up the season, at least as it stands right now, and I will say, I still think there's a chance that the Ducks will go play in the WNIT. We'll discuss that a little bit more after you hear some of Coach Graves' thoughts along with Grace Van Sluten and Chance Gray.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate JR and her team. They played really well when we played them about a month ago. I thought they were the most complete team in the conference at that point. I know they kind of struggled down the stretch, but they played tonight like a team that I thought they were. I think you all know how much I love JR and respect her, and happy for them. In terms of us, we just picked a tough night to really have a tough night. I mean, we weren't good really in any phase of the game. Certainly shooting the basketball was a struggle, but it's been a struggle all year. We've had a hard time scoring, and but I do want to just tell my team that I'm really proud of them, and certainly these two, they've done their absolute best all year long. And it's not, we've just had one of those years. Not a lot's worked, not a lot's gone well, but my team, the one thing I complimented on in the locker room was that they've stuck together. And they continue to practice hard and play hard and get along and do the things that they're supposed to do as a student athlete at the University of Oregon. I'm proud of them for that. It's just tough to watch, today's performance, unfortunately. But, we've got some work to do, and we hope to get back to where, we've kind of been in this well, not in this conference anymore, but back to the program that I am confident that we can be.
It seemed like you guys got some good looks early, but they just didn't fall. And so, did you feel that way? And when they weren't falling, did you feel like it kind of snowballed from there a little bit?
Yeah, and it's happened. That's kind of been a theme, throughout the season. We've just kind of struggled to put the ball in the basket, And I thought we had a couple of good looks. I got to compliment their defense. I think the ones that we did get were a little rushed, and then that got us off our game. And once you miss a few, sometimes the confidence becomes a factor. And then when we did get better looks, they didn't go either. So, I would compliment Colorado on their job defensively.
Kelly, you've been pretty optimistic about getting this program turned around. Why are you so optimistic about that? What leads you to believe you can get this turned around?
Well, look at my track record. Look at my career. Look at the championships that we've won, and the program that we've had. I can't really pinpoint one reason why it's kind of fallen off, but how am I supposed to be? I'm a positive person by nature, and I feel that we can get it back, and in this day and age with a lot of player movement, I think there's help to be found as well. So we've got some really good young pieces. You're looking at two of them right here, and we've just got to, continue to get some more to go with it. But I'm not discouraged. I mean, I feel bad now, and I feel bad for the season, but I'm not going to let that affect me next year by any stretch.
I know from you personally covering you for years that this is not the way you guys wanted to end this conference. What are just some of the kind of the emotions that's going through your mind knowing that this is the last Pac-12 game that you guys will be a part of as you guys transition to the Big Ten next season?
Well, I've had several months to process that, so I'm not melancholy on any of that stuff. I'm concerned about the game today. I'm not looking big picture. It is disappointing that I don't get to play against or coach against JR, and her staff has all either played for me or coached with me, and so that part's tough. But I left that melancholy stuff a long time ago. Yeah, it's a shame that we're at this point, both our program where we're at and the Pac-12. I'm really disappointed that this will be the last Pac-12 tournament. That's a shame.
For either one of the players, Kelly nodded at you. It's two players that he could build around for the future. Have you considered your future? Do you want to come back here?
Yeah. I don't see why not. Obviously, I don't think anybody would be thinking about that during the season. I would hope not. I don't see why not.
You can apply for a waiver to play in the WNIT, and KJ, you've said for weeks that you guys have practiced hard. You feel like the kids haven't quit on you or anything. Do you guys want to play in the WNIT? If you can, or are you ready to just move on and get ready for next year?
Well, I'll take that. I've always been one that if somebody asks us to play, we want to play. I think the circumstances this year might change that. I don't know if we're going to be realistic. I think we meet a couple of the measurements. I mean, this has been a tough year. I mean, we didn't get any, we were young to begin with. I mean, you're looking at 2 young sophomores here. We've had injuries right from the start. We played the toughest schedule in the country. I mean, 12 of our 18 games in conference play were against teams in the top 20. And, we just weren't equipped to beat those teams at this time. But I think under all those circumstances, I'm not sure that we want to continue to play. But I'm going to talk to these 2. These are the 2 I've relied on all year. And if it's something they want to do, doggone it, who am I to say no, I don't know. How do you guys? Chance?
I just think as a team, we haven't really thought about it like the question before. We're just kind of been focused on one game at a time, taking everything by day. So whatever the team wants to do as a whole, I think we can all agree on. But, yeah.
Specifically for Grace and Chance, are there, obviously a tough year, but what are the positives that you can take away? It wasn't all terrible. You had some really good moments as a team and as individuals. What are the things that you're excited about?
I think over the season we all got really close. We're all a really tight group, hang out on and off the court. We all just really get along well. So we've had some really fun times together. So I'd say that's definitely one of the positives. Yeah, I agree. I think through all of this, we've stayed together, relied on each other, came into practice every day for the most part with positive attitudes, and just kind of seized the day, was ready to get better every day, no matter the circumstances or the numbers or the record or where we're at. We built a strong, tight-knit group, and we'll definitely have relationships that we can have forever.
We'll see what's coming for postseason and then heading into next season for Oregon women's basketball. But I thought an honest assessment from 2 team leaders in Grace Van Sluten and Chance Gray, and then Coach Graves talking about the season that was and what could happen. We'll see moving forward for the WNIT. When we come back, baseball on the road and Pac-12 play is looming. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, women's lacrosse. Another win for Jess Drummond. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Baseball, 2-game set at Grand Canyon. Things went well for the Ducks. Now sitting at 9-3 overall following Tuesday's game where Jeffrey Hurd, Mason Neville, and Jacob Walsh all homered. 4 Oregon pitchers combined for a solid effort. A 9-4 victory over Grand Canyon on Tuesday. 5 Ducks finished with multiple hits in that game. Carter Garate went 3 for 4 with a run. Hurd, Justin Casella, Drew Smith, and Bennett Thompson all had a pair of hits. Walsh and Hurd both drove in 2 runs, had 2 home runs. Good to see Jacob Walsh after he didn't start in the final game against UC Santa Barbara. It was great to see him get it going. He hit an absolute bomb in that game. I don't think that ball has landed yet that he hit on Tuesday. I mean, if we had the TrackMan data that records like exit velocity, all these things, and I'm telling you, he hit that thing a mile. It was an absolute tater. Then on Wednesday, Oregon pounded Grand Canyon. 21 hits on Wednesday, including 4 home runs, a 13-5 win yesterday. Justin Casella, Ryan Cooney, and Mason Neville, and Jacob Walsh all homered. Oregon scored 11 of its runs between the 4th and the 7th innings. Neville homered for his 3rd straight game. Walsh homered in back-to-back games. Those guys getting it going. I've been saying this. Hurd, Casella, Betcher, Neville. The Ducks have 4 starting outfielders. What do? Well, Jeffrey Hurd DH'd in a couple of these games. I think that's going to be great competition and depth for the Ducks moving forward. I think that's going to be a theme. Mark Wazakowski's talked with Ryan Milano about this on a couple Toyota Coaches Corners that, hey, there's going to be some really, really good players that aren't playing for the Ducks, and it gives you some depth. And, you never know. When you play, 5 games in a 6-day stretch like the Ducks just did, you need that depth. So the Ducks conclude non-conference play at 9-3. They head to Arizona State tomorrow. Ryan will have the call for you. It'll be a 5:15 scheduled pregame show and a 5:30 first pitch. It's on the Arizona State live stream for those of you that want to sync up Ryan's OSN broadcast with the video as well. Also, Oregon lacrosse defeated Merrimack last night 18-3 on the back of a 6-goal performance from midfielder Anna Simmons. Simmons scored a hat trick less than 3 minutes into the game to help the Ducks, who are now 5-1, take full command. They eventually built a 9-0 lead over the Warriors early in the second quarter. Merrimack scored 3 of the game's next 5 goals, but Oregon closed it. 7 straight goals, slammed the door shut. A perfect Pape Field record so far. The only loss is on the road to a top 25 Rutgers team for Jess Drummond's squad. Off to a great start, heading into conference play on the horizon. First-year head coach and Oregon alum Jess Drummond has done a great job with that lacrosse team. And sitting at 5-1, postseason resume? Dare we start to have that conversation for Oregon lacrosse? That's pretty exciting. Women's golf team closed the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate yesterday. Best round of the week on Wednesday, a 3/287. The Ducks improved by 15 strokes from Tuesday's round. I think Coach Radley would tell you that it wasn't the best Duck showing, but a couple freshmen were the bright spot, including this time, Kiara Romero led the way, 2 under, and then Minori Nagano. It was great to see her come back from a couple earlier rounds that I think she'd like back, was right behind her at a 1 under 70. That was a true cream of the crop tournament for women's golf. The Ducks like to go to that Darius Rucker Invitational every year. And now coming home, I'm excited to talk with Coach Radley about some takeaways, because I think the Ducks would tell you there were probably more than a few shots that they would like back from that one. Still, though, a top 25 talented Oregon women's golf team. That's Duck Insider for today. Men's basketball tonight. 6 o'clock on ESPN2. We've got a 5:30 pregame show for you. Hey, and also up in Seattle, Ducks and Dogs, men's tennis. Nils Schielander's squad in action, 5 o'clock. We'll have some updates on that. See you at Matthew Knight Arena tonight, everybody. Go Ducks.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh.